Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, where we explore the rich world of coin collecting and numismatic history. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a coin that might appear ordinary at first glance, but under the right conditions, could be worth far more than its face value. We're talking about the 1966 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark. In this video, we'll cover its historical background, unique characteristics, the reason for the missing mint mark, its rarity and grading factors, and most importantly, its value today in 2025. Whether you're a long-time collector or just getting started, this is a coin worth knowing about. Let's begin with the historical context. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Featuring a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse, the coin was designed to honor one of the United States' most influential founding fathers. Now, the year 1966 was a transitional period in the U.S. Mint's production practices. In response to a national coin shortage and increasing hoarding of coins by the public, the U.S. Mint took the unusual step of removing mint marks from all circulating coins from 1965 to 1967. This measure was aimed at discouraging collectors from pulling coins out of circulation based on mint origin. That is why all nickels minted in 1966 do not carry a mint mark, regardless of the facility in which they were produced, although most of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't use a mint mark at the time. Others were also minted in Denver and San Francisco without any way to distinguish them. This decision makes all 1966 nickels visually identical in terms of mint origin. The 1966 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance. It has a diameter of 21.2 mm and weighs 5 grams, with a smooth edge. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson facing left, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1966. The reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, with inscriptions including "E Pluribus Unum, United States of America," and the denomination, 5 cents. Coins from this era are known for relatively low strike quality, meaning that design details were often weak or blurred, especially on the reverse. As a result, finding a 1966 nickel with strong, sharp detail is both difficult and desirable. In terms of mintage, over 156 million 1966 Jefferson nickels were produced. That number suggests this coin is not rare in the traditional sense. However, rarity in numismatics is not just about how many were made, but how many survive today in top condition. Most of the 1966 nickels were heavily circulated. They show significant wear, surface scratches, dull luster, and loss of detail. What truly sets a valuable 1966 nickel apart is its condition. High-grade examples, particularly those in mint state with well-defined features, can command a premium in today's market. One key feature collectors look for is the presence of full steps on the reverse of the coin. This refers to the steps leading up to Monticello. If all 5 or 6 steps are clearly visible and unbroken, the coin qualifies for a full steps designation, which significantly increases its value. These well-struck examples are not easy to find and are considered quite rare for this year. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining value. The Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, is used to assess a coin's condition. Circulated 1966 nickels often fall between grades 5 and 40, while uncirculated coins can range from MS60 to MS67 or even higher in rare cases. In particular, coins graded MS65 or higher with full steps are extremely desirable. These specimens are few and far between due to the poor strike quality that plagued many coins from the mid-1960s. Because of this, collectors are willing to pay a premium for examples that have survived with exceptional detail and preserved surfaces. If you happen to find a 1966 nickel in pocket change that appears uncirculated, with strong luster and no visible wear, it may be worth submitting to a professional grading service for evaluation. Now let's talk about what this coin is actually worth in the current market. For circulated examples, the value typically ranges from 5 cents to about 50 cents. Depending on wear. Coins with minimal circulation and attractive eye appeal might be worth slightly more, but most are still considered common. Uncirculated examples begin to show real value. A 1966 nickel-graded MS-63 might be worth anywhere from $2 to $5, depending on the market. As you move up the scale, the price rises. A coin in MS-65 condition could fetch around $20 or more, while an MS-66 could range from $50 to $100 or higher, but the most dramatic jump in value comes with coins that receive the full steps designation. A 1966 nickel-graded MS-65 with full steps can be worth several $100s. In some cases, examples in MS-66 full steps condition have sold for over $1,000 at auction. The highest graded and best preserved coins from this year have even reached values exceeding $5,000. These are not everyday finds. They are the exception, not the rule. However, the possibility adds excitement to the hunt and makes even a common-looking coin worthy of a second look. If you're a collector, here are a few things to keep in mind when evaluating a 1966 Jefferson nickel. First, always assess the condition. Look for strong luster, minimal scratches, and well-defined features. Second, examine the steps of Monticello. If all the steps are visible and separated, the coin could qualify as a full steps example, increasing its value dramatically. Third, consider professional grading if you believe your coin may be in mint state. Certification not only authenticates the coin's condition but also increases its marketability and resale value. Finally, be realistic. While high-value examples exist, most 1966 nickels are still worth very little. That said, they are an excellent entry point for new collectors and offer the thrill of discovery for those willing to search through rolls, collections, or even everyday pocket change. So there you have it, the complete story of the 1966 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel. A coin that may be common in the grand scheme, but under the right circumstances, can be worth a surprising amount. Its value is a combination of condition, strike quality, and collector demand. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel from the United States Mint. The reasons behind its rarity in certain conditions, how to determine if yours is worth a small fortune, and what collectors are paying for it in 2025. Stay tuned, because what may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938. It was introduced to replace the Buffalo nickel and features a profile portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his famous Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. The design was created by sculptor Felix Schlag and remained relatively unchanged for over 6 decades. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is part of this long-running series and carries the mint mark, P, beneath the date, indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a weight of 5 grams. It has a plain edge and a familiar matte silver-gray appearance. In 1982, over 292 million of these nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, making it one of the more common years in terms of mintage. But as we'll soon discover, numbers don't tell the whole story. At first glance, the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel seems like a common coin. So, why does it draw the attention of serious collectors? The answer lies in 2 words: condition and strike quality. 1982 was a transitional year in many ways. Due to budget cuts and minting decisions, the U.S. Mint did not issue official uncirculated coin sets that year. As a result, most of the 1982 nickels were released directly into circulation, meaning very few were preserved in pristine condition straight from the mint. That lack of untouched, mint-state examples makes this coin surprisingly difficult to find in high grades today. And when a 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is found in nearly flawless condition, particularly with strong, well-defined details, it becomes significantly more valuable. One of the most important elements that can increase the value of a Jefferson nickel is what's known as the full steps designation. On the reverse of the coin, at the base of the Monticello building, there are 6 steps leading up to the entrance. In most circulated coins, these steps are worn down or were never clearly struck to begin with. However, on some rare examples, all 6 steps are fully visible and sharply defined. These coins are described as having full steps. For Jefferson nickels, full steps are a major grading point. Coins with this detail are considered to be superbly struck and highly desirable. The 1982p is notoriously difficult to find with full steps due to weak strikes at the Philadelphia Mint that year. If you happen to have a 1982p with full steps, especially in a high mint state grade like MS65 or higher, you could be looking at a significant premium over face value. So, what is a 1982p Jefferson nickel worth today in 2025? The value of this coin is entirely dependent on its condition and strike quality. Here's a general breakdown. Circulated condition. If the coin shows noticeable wear from years of use, its value remains at or near face value, 5 cents. Uncirculated condition without full steps. If you have a mint state coin with no signs of wear but lacking full steps, the value can range from $5 to $15 depending on the grade and appeal. Uncirculated with full steps. MS65 and above, this is where the value truly increases. Coins in MS65 full steps condition can sell for $100 to $250, and examples graded MS66 or MS67 can sell for several $100s or more. Top grade full step specimens, MS67 plus or MS68 in extremely rare cases, if the coin is nearly flawless with full steps, it could command values in the thousands of dollars at auction, especially if it's certified by a top grading company and has a strong market demand. The scarcity of such high-grade coins in the absence of official mint sets from 1982 adds to the coin's appeal and drives up the premium collectors are willing to pay. If you have a 1982p Jefferson nickel and are wondering whether it's valuable, here are a few things to examine. Check the mint mark. Confirm that there is a P beneath the date, indicating the Philadelphia Mint. Examine the condition. Look for luster, sharp detail, and minimal wear. Scratches, dings, and discoloration reduce the value. Inspect the Monticello steps, flip the coin over and look closely at the steps on the building. If all 6 horizontal steps are clearly separated, you may have a full steps coin. Consider professional grading. If you believe your coin is in exceptional condition, consider sending it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade, especially with a full steps designation, will significantly improve your chances of selling for a premium. The 1982p Jefferson nickel may not seem remarkable at first glance, but its potential value lies in the details, quite literally. Most examples are worth only 5 cents, but a well-preserved, sharply struck coin with full steps could be worth 100, 1,000, or even more in the right market. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, this is a coin worth checking in your collection or spare change. Always look closely, because some of the most valuable coins are hiding in plain sight. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 1982p Jefferson nickel. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. The 1984 D Jefferson nickel. At first glance, this 5-cent coin may seem ordinary, but beneath its humble copper-nickel surface lies a story of design, production, collector intrigue, and, in some cases, hidden value. Whether you're a dedicated coin collector or simply curious about what that old nickel in your drawer might be worth, this video is for you. The 1984 D Jefferson nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, which began in 1938. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, we find a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States. This image was designed to reflect Jefferson's intellect and influence on American democracy. On the reverse side is a depiction of his Virginia home, Monticello, a symbol of architectural elegance and historical importance. The D mint mark, found to the right of Monticello on the reverse side, indicates that this particular nickel was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver facility was responsible for producing a very large number of these coins in 1984, and while that may sound like it diminishes the coin's value, there's more to the story. In 1984, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. With such high production numbers, the coin was widely circulated across the country. This means that most examples today show signs of wear, from light rubs on Jefferson's cheek to more severe scratches and discoloration caused by decades of handling. Because of the sheer quantity minted, the majority of 1984 D nickels found today are considered common. But as any seasoned collector knows, rarity is not just about mintage numbers. Condition and strike quality play an enormous role in a coin's desirability and value. So, what makes a 1984 D Jefferson nickel potentially valuable? The answer lies in the details, specifically, in two critical areas: condition and the full steps designation. First, condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers representing better preservation. A coin in mint state, that is, showing no signs of circulation, is always worth more than one that has passed through countless hands. Mint state coins, especially those graded MS65 and above, are highly sought after. Second, we have the concept of full steps. On the reverse side of the Jefferson nickel, just below the Monticello building, are a series of steps leading up to the structure. When a coin is struck with such precision that every step is clearly visible and completely separated from the others, it earns the full steps designation. These coins are considerably rarer because most strikes from this era did not display that level of detail, especially from the Denver Mint, where dies often wore down faster due to the high volume of production. Now, let's talk about errors, one of the most exciting areas of coin collecting. While the 1984 D Jefferson nickel is not widely known for major die varieties or dramatic mint errors, collectors have reported examples with off-center strikes, die cracks, and even doubling on the lettering or Monticello's steps. These types of errors can add interest and sometimes value, depending on their visibility and severity. A clean, well-centered strike with full steps and no distracting marks is the type of coin that gets attention and higher bids from serious collectors. So, how much is a 1984 D Jefferson nickel worth in today's market? Let's break it down by condition. A circulated 1984 D nickel, meaning one that has been used in everyday transactions, typically holds little more than face value. You might get a few cents from a buyer, but in most cases, it's worth 5 cents. The denomination stamped on its face. Uncirculated examples, especially those in the MS60 to MS64 range, can sell for between $1 and several dollars, depending on appeal and demand. Now here's where it gets interesting. Mint state coins graded MS65 and higher, particularly those with the full steps designation, are in a completely different price tier. These coins can command premiums ranging from tens to hundreds of dollars. In extremely rare cases, specimens graded MS67 or higher with full steps can reach into the four-figure range at auction. It's worth noting that these high-grade coins are not found in pocket change. They are typically discovered in original bank rolls, mint sets, or through cherry-picking from coin dealer inventory. Getting one graded by a professional grading service can unlock its true market potential, especially if it meets the criteria for a premium grade. So you're probably wondering, what should you do if you have a 1984 D Jefferson nickel? Start by examining the coin closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check the steps under Monticello. Are they sharp and well-defined? Do you see any signs of wear on Jefferson's face or coat? Next, assess the overall condition. If your coin looks uncirculated, that is, with original luster and no signs of wear, it might be worth a closer look. Compare it to images of graded examples online or take it to a local coin dealer for a second opinion. If it appears to be high grade, and especially if it shows full steps, consider submitting it to a reputable grading service. The cost of grading is an investment, but it can add credibility and value to your coin if it receives a top-tier grade. The 1984 D Jefferson nickel is a classic example of how common coins can sometimes surprise us. While most examples are worth only face value, there are diamonds in the rough, high-grade, sharply struck coins that can bring serious value on the open market. More importantly, coins like this serve as a reminder that the beauty of numismatics isn't always in rarity alone, it's in the details, the history, the hunt, and the stories we uncover along the way. So the next time you find yourself holding an old nickel, take a closer look. You never know what you might have in your hand. The 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that many people overlook, yet under the right conditions, could be worth far more than 5 cents. So, what makes this common-looking coin potentially valuable? Why are collectors still hunting for this piece in 2025? And how can you determine if the 1985 P nickel in your collection is worth keeping, or even grading? Let's explore its history, design, rarity, grading criteria, and current market performance. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938. Designed to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence, this coin has featured his portrait on the obverse and his famous Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced the version we're discussing today, designated by the P Mint mark. This year was not a special anniversary or key date in the series, yet the sheer production volume of the coin makes it an interesting case. Hundreds of millions of these nickels were struck, intended primarily for circulation. At first glance, the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel appears ordinary, a nickel-clad copper coin with standard features. But numismatics isn't always about rarity in mintage numbers. Sometimes, the condition, strike quality, and specific die characteristics elevate a coin to collector status. One of the most critical aspects of evaluating Jefferson nickels, particularly those minted from the late 1960s through the 1980s, is the quality of the strike on Monticello. Specifically, the steps in front of the building. A sharp strike that fully renders all steps is referred to as having full steps, a term collectors use to distinguish higher-grade examples. These full steps nickels are more desirable and significantly more valuable than their weakly struck counterparts. In most cases, the presence or absence of full steps can mean the difference between a coin worth face value and one worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you're evaluating a 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, here's what to look for. First, examine the reverse under magnification. Focus on the steps at the base of Monticello. Can you clearly count 5 or 6 uninterrupted, horizontal steps? If so, you may have what's considered a full steps variety. Second, check the coin's surfaces. A coin with no signs of wear, scuffing, or contact marks is a candidate for a high mint state grade. The fewer the marks and the better the luster, the more likely it is to be graded MS 65 or higher. Third, examine overall eye appeal. While not a grading requirement, coins that are beautifully toned or unusually sharp in strike can sometimes fetch a premium based on visual desirability alone. Fourth, determine authenticity and avoid cleaning. Harsh cleaning, polishing, or damage from storage will always lower the coin's grade and collector value. Coin grading is a professional process that determines a coin's condition on a 70-point scale. The higher the number, the better the preservation. For the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, most coins found in circulation fall between very fine and about uncirculated, which have minimal value beyond face. However, coins that grade MS 65 and above, particularly with full steps, are considerably more valuable. An MS 65 full steps coin can be worth well over $100. An MS 66 or MS 67 full steps can rise into the thousands, depending on current demand and the number of certified examples in that grade. In rare cases, if a coin achieves an MS 67 plus or higher grade with full steps, and is professionally slabbed by a top-tier grading company, auction results have proven that such examples can sell for several $1,000s or more. So, what's the current market value in 2025, in circulated condition? The 1985 P. Jefferson nickel remains a common coin. Its value is typically 5 cents, and even in better circulated condition, it may only bring a slight premium when sold in bulk or as part of a set. In uncirculated condition, without full steps, prices range from a few dollars up to around $15 or $20, depending on grade. With full steps, however, prices increase significantly. Certified MS 65 FS examples are regularly selling for over $100. MS 66 FS coins are commonly found in the $200 to $400 range. And MS 67 FS examples, though extremely scarce, have achieved auction prices upwards of several $1,000s. It's important to note that population numbers, how many have been certified in each grade, heavily influence these values. A coin that is one of only a handful known in a top grade will always command a higher price than one with hundreds or thousands of known examples. Here are a few tips if you believe you've found a valuable 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. First, handle the coin carefully, preferably with gloves. Avoid touching the surfaces, and store it in a non-PVC flip or an archival safe holder. Second, examine it under magnification and good lighting. Identify whether it has full steps, sharp details, and unbroken surfaces. Third, if you believe it's a strong candidate for grading, especially if it looks like a high mint state full steps example, consider sending it to a reputable third-party grading service. Finally, keep an eye on auction results and coin market trends. The value of these coins can rise or fall based on demand, discoveries of new high-grade examples, and changing collector preferences. The 1985 P. Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how an everyday coin can carry hidden potential. Though struck in massive quantities and often dismissed as common, the right combination of strike, preservation, and designation can turn it into a sought-after numismatic prize. So, the next time you come across this coin in your change or collection, give it a closer look. You might just be holding a piece worth far more than its face value. The 1999 D. Jefferson nickel. It's a 5-cent piece that, under the right conditions, could be worth far more than its face value. We'll cover the coin's background, why collectors care about it, what makes it valuable, and its current market value in 2025. If you're a collector, investor, or just curious about coins in your pocket, this video is for you. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed to honor the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, the coin features his portrait on the obverse and Monticello, his famous Virginia estate, on the reverse. By 1999, the U.S. Mint was still using the original design, a layout that would eventually be updated just a few years later. The 1999 D. nickel, struck at the Denver Mint, represents one of the final years of this classic Jefferson design before the Westward Journey series began in 2004. The Denver Mint is identified by the small D mint mark on the obverse of the coin, just next to the date. In 1999, over 1 billion of these coins were minted at the Denver facility, making it, on the surface, a common coin. However, as with all coinage, the story doesn't stop at mintage numbers. Rarity and value are determined by a range of other factors, which we'll now explore. The 1999 D. Jefferson nickel is composed of a copper-nickel alloy, weighing 5.00 grams and measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter. The obverse features a left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases the Monticello building with the words, E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. While the design might appear simple, collectors look for very specific details, especially in the steps of Monticello. That brings us to an important point in understanding this coin's potential value. Although the 1999 D. Jefferson nickel is common in circulated condition, certain features can significantly increase its value. Here are the key factors that collectors look for. 1. Condition or grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no imperfections even under magnification. Coins that have never been circulated and retain their original mint luster are labeled as mint state and typically begin at MS 60. The higher the grade, the higher the value, especially as you approach grades like MS 66 or MS 67. These grades are rare because most coins suffer from small marks, weak strikes, or handling damage even before entering circulation. 2. Full steps designation. One of the most desirable attributes for a Jefferson nickel is what's known as the full steps designation. This refers to the clarity of the steps on the Monticello building on the reverse. If all 5 or 6 steps are clearly visible and separated without any wear or strike weakness, the coin can receive this designation. Full steps nickels from any year are more sought after and command a premium. 3. Strike quality and eye appeal. Beyond technical grading, collectors look at strike sharpness, luster, and overall eye appeal. A coin with vibrant luster, few contact marks, and excellent strike quality will always fetch more than a dull, lifeless 1.4. Rarity in high grade. Even with high mintage numbers, very few 1999 D nickels survive in pristine, top grades. That's especially true with full steps. While hundreds of millions were struck, only a small fraction were preserved well enough to grade above MS 66 or receive the FS designation. This scarcity in top condition is what drives up value for collectors who want the best. So, what is a 1999 D. Jefferson nickel worth today, in 2025? Let's break it down by condition and category. Circulated condition, most common. In average worn condition, this coin is still very common and generally worth only face value, 5 cents. It's easy to find in circulation, and unless it's in outstanding shape, there's little added value. Uncirculated, mint state coins, MS-60, MS-64, coins that were never circulated and remain in good condition can be worth between $1 and $5, depending on the grade. These coins are often found in original mint rolls or collector sets, high-grade mint state, MS-65, MS-66. At these levels, values can rise significantly. A coin graded MS-65 may bring $10 to $25, while MS-66 examples can sell for $30 to $75 or more. These coins are attractive to collectors who seek high-end examples from every year. MS-67 and above. This is where the serious money starts to come into play. A 1999 Jefferson Nickels graded MS-67 or higher is scarce and could be worth between $100 and $300, depending on the market and demand at the time. Full steps varieties. A 1999 with full steps in MS-66 or MS-67 condition can command an even greater premium. Prices in this category can reach up to $500 or more, especially if the coin has strong eye appeal and is certified by a reputable grading service. Record sales. Exceptional examples, particularly those with MS-68 grades or pristine full steps designation, have sold for close to $1,000 or more in top-tier auctions, though such coins are exceedingly rare. Now that you know the value potential, the question becomes, should you keep it or sell it? Keep it if it is uncirculated and shows no visible where you can see sharp steps on the Monticello building. You're building a date and mint collection or full step set. You believe it could grade MS-66 or higher. Sell it if you have had it graded and it received a high mint state rating. It has full steps and excellent eye appeal. There's strong demand in the current market. Get it graded if you believe it could be MS-67 or better. You want to confirm full steps. You are considering selling it to serious collectors or through auction houses. Grading costs money, so it's important to ensure the coin is worth the investment. Sending a typical circulated coin in for grading will likely cost more than the coin's value, so use caution. Let's clear up a few myths around the 1999 Nickels. 1. High mintage equals no value. Yes, it was minted in large numbers, but coins in high grades with full steps are still quite rare. Mintage alone doesn't tell the full story. Point 2. All 1999 Nickels are valuable. Only select coins in exceptional condition are valuable. Most found in pocket change are worth 5 cents. Point 3. Age equals value. While older coins often are more valuable, a modern coin like the 1999 can still be worth a lot in the right condition. Age is just one of many factors in valuation. The 1999 Jefferson Nickels is a fascinating case of a modern coin that holds unexpected value under the right circumstances. While it may seem ordinary at first glance, hidden gems exist, particularly among those with high grades and the elusive full step strike. If you're a coin collector, this is a great reminder to inspect even your modern coins closely. If you're new to the hobby, the 1999 can serve as an exciting introduction to the world of grading, mint marks, and coin value. And if you're just someone going through your change jar, you never know what you might find. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more coin deep dives like this one. Do you have a 1999 Jefferson Nickels? Let us know in the comments. Is it circulated, uncirculated, or possibly a full steps gem? Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and remember, sometimes, treasure really is hiding in plain sight.